Okay, I'd like to thank everybody for coming tonight. I think I speak for all the staff and coaches when I say thank you to all the parents and family and friends and everybody for raising such a great group of guys. It's been a pleasure working with all of them through this entire process, and as I've said kind of throughout the week to coaches and media and everybody, every year has a little different feel to it, different team, different personality, but to be honest, to say that this is the best group that we've ever had, it's really true. You know, it's a long week, it's hard, it's practice and things, and these guys have just been phenomenal. No negativity, no body language, no problems, no anything. It's just a great group of guys, and so that's really a tribute to the parents here. So guys, why don't you give all your parents and coaches and everybody else a hand, because really I'd also like to personally thank all the coaches who have given their time from their summers off to be here. This game would not be possible without their support. I really enjoy getting to know everybody, all the coaches, and hope we can continue doing this for a long time to come. It's really because of you guys that this game happens. Every year there'll be new groups of kids and parents and people get excited about it, but it's really about the coaches and these guys stepping up and taking turns and having to do this multiple times, and that's really hard. So let's all give the coaches a hand. Next, I want to thank two individuals at this time, the athletic trainers, John Youngworth and Marcus Smithson from Bellin Health Sports Medicine. They're sitting right over here in the front row on the left there. These guys keep everybody as healthy as possible throughout the week, so they're ready to play on Saturday, which is quite a task at this point, seeing that we've been away from football for a lot of months, and there's a lot of taping and a lot of kind of bumps and bruises throughout the week. They get to the dome before everybody else, they leave after everybody's gone, and so they've also given up time away. They should be back at home working and doing other stuff, and so they also take their time this week. On a historical note, John Youngworth here has been part of this game since the beginning, so he's been a trainer here every single year. This is year number 6, and he's been here every single year. And on another note, Marcus Smithson's from Forest Park, and he played in this game as an all-star in 2009. And so he's the first one to come back in a professional setting and be part of this game. And also, this is somebody you guys sitting right there can really look up to. He just got accepted into physical therapy grad school at Grand Valley State, and so I was pretty excited about that. He's happy to help you guys out. He also played in 4 straight state championship games. So let's give the trainers a hand. Questions have come up from players and parents and emails and everything else about pictures and video that we've been taking throughout the week. I've been posting some of those pictures on Facebook and just the stuff that we've been taking at practice. I'm happy to do that. We've got that Facebook page. When the week is all done, I'd like to thank Bill Schumann, our photographer right here. He's been at Bay Cliff. He did all the individual pictures, all the team pictures. He'll be there on Saturday taking hundreds of game pictures. All that stuff will be put on the website. So on the Excel website, and I create a special web page just for the All-Star game. It's through Shutterfly. And they're all free for anybody to download. So if you want to, take them to your local, Walmart or Walgreens or wherever, or you want to order them right from the site, I think they still give you like the first 50 free. So feel free to do that. Download them, use them however that you see fit. So we'll get those all posted. The video, there will be a professional videographer videotaping the game on Saturday. So we'll put that together. It'll take us probably about a month or so to get that DVD all put together, and we'll have all the goodies on there too, all the extra video that we take. We'll put this stuff on there, and players I haven't on Tuesday night. For everybody else here that's not a player, on Tuesday night, just to kind of spice things up a little bit, and I see how good these guys are during the week. Tuesday night's the hardest night. We do all our individual pictures and team pictures, and so there's a lot of sitting around, and I know that that's important to mom, dad, grandma, and everybody else, that we get good pictures of these kids. And so I set up a video booth on Tuesday night, and they were all instructed that they have to go up and interview each other, and they have to answer answer at least 3 questions, and of course, like within 5 seconds, and I had note cards made up and everything, you know, what's your favorite pro football team, and you know, all these really basic questions, and yeah, within about 5 seconds, there's 20 guys going, can we make up our own questions? So, and throughout the pictures, about a dozen, you know, hey, you got to go back and edit that stuff. I don't want my coach to see that. I haven't looked at it all, but I'll make sure that I go through it before we put that on the DVD. So I think there's some questionable content on there. But we'll get that stuff out to you quick, and I'll shoot an email out to all the players. I'll put it on Facebook and everything when all that stuff is done and all the pictures are ready. Happy to report this week, you know, big charitable week for us. We took in over 800 pounds of food for the Beacon House, which is the most that we've ever done. And they actually told us when we showed up and dropped it off, they said they were actually, they didn't know what they were going to do. They were trying to figure out how they could have like another event, another fundraiser, you know, something to do to stock their pantry. And so they literally said this is going to sustain them for many months. And so that's huge. And so let's give the players and parents and everybody a hand, because that's Skills Challenge was on Wednesday, which is always kind of a friendly competition, and you know, maybe or maybe not an indicator, you know, of Saturday's, you know, competition, but it's a friendly competition between the two sides, and they get to have a little bit of that fun on Wednesday. So I'll just go through those. Reed Larson from Kingsford and Chris Byer from Menominee were the fastest overall and the fastest lineman. Kyle Root from Sault Ste. Marie was the strongest overall and set an all-star record with 19 bench press reps. And Tyler Fountain, also from Sault Ste. Marie, was the strongest lineman. Taylor Smith from Gogebic won the punt contest with an all-star record of 67 yards punt. Alex Sherbino from Marquette had the longest field goal with an all-star record of 55 yards. Kenny Pekarik from North Dickinson won the best hands, and Brian Heckthorn from Ironwood won the best hands for linemen. Also, Aiden Winky from Kingsford had the longest throw, which was an all-star record of 59 yards. So let's give all those guys a hand. Obviously, you guys saw the video. Went to Bay Cliff last night or yesterday afternoon, and obviously words don't really need to describe, you know, what you guys saw and what happened there. But again, everybody was outstanding. I couldn't be prouder of this group. This is year number 3 now that we've been going to Bay Cliff, and no doubt about it, this is going to be an all-star staple. You know, one of the players got up, Joe Iwaniki from Marquette, you know, did a great job, you know, kind of put him on the spot a little bit and made him stand up in front of everyone and just kind of say thank you on behalf of the all-star players. And I think he said it best, you know, this is, you know, created some memories, I think, in all the players and coaches that they're going to take away for a long time to come. So that's really the point of it, is to show, you know, all the players, and that you guys recognize, you know, how special you have it, you know, the gifts that you have, and to give back to other people. So that was just awesome. So I'm really proud of you guys for that. Throughout the process, there were 40 players that raised extra money, and they were able to get the All-Star ring. So that's how that works. There's a basic amount that you got to fundraise to help pay for, you know, food and dorms and uniforms and all that stuff to make this go. And 40 guys, you know, went out there and went above and beyond, and those kind of things really allow us to meet our goals, you know, what we want to do, and that's give away. And so what we do for the All-Star game, we do a random draw every year of 2 schools, and we make a $1,000 cash donation right to their football programs. And the only stipulation is that it's used for the football team. It's not used for, you know, volleyball or goes in the general fund. It's gotta go right to that program. So an example of some of that was like last year when Gogebic, you know, started up a brand new team, you know, co-opted and started a brand new team, needed all new uniforms, new helmets, new everything. They got $1,000 to help pay for those uniforms and that. So we're happy to do that every year, and once your school gets picked, then you are out then until all the schools are picked. So once we get through all the high schools in the whole UP, then we'll start that process over. And so hopefully we can continue to grow this and involve more schools and give away more. The other thing that we do is the practice jerseys. So we have 2 sets of practice jerseys that are new at the beginning of the week, and 2 schools will go home with those, and they just have the numbers on them so they can take them home and use them for their freshman teams or JV or practice, whatever they want. But we'll donate those to 2 different schools. This year was Westwood is going to get the red jerseys, and St. Ignace is going to get the white ones. And then for the cash donation, Lance and Newberry are going to get the cash donations this year. So we'll make a presentation after the game with everything else with that. Last thing that we do are the footballs. So every year we get 36 brand new footballs, 18 on each side, and the head coach for each all-star team gets to take those back to his program. So Ishpeming and North Dickinson will get all 18 of those footballs to use brand new for their teams throughout the year. So let's give those guys a hand for There are two all-star players that I want to recognize at this time. They're Max Nelson from Manistee and Eric Lane from Gogebic. Max and Eric raised the most money out of anybody on their teams and the most overall. Again, talked about what the minimum requirement is and kind of how we make this go. And Max raised just shy of $2,000, which is pretty impressive. And Eric wasn't too far behind that. And so, because of that stuff, we could do that. We can do some of those extra fun things and that we do during the week, and some of the cool gear that you guys get that helps pay for that. So these guys really went above and beyond. And most importantly, what the fundraising does, it's possible, it'd be hard, but it's possible for us to get some big sponsors and, kind of give this to these guys for nothing, let's get somebody to pay for it for them. But what this has done is something that they're used to their whole life. They work hard in the weight room, they work hard in practice, and they earn it. And what fundraising does is it gets them out in the community talking about the game, talking to businesses, promoting the game, getting people to come to it and come support them. So fundraising is a huge part of this. It always will be. So those guys did a great job. As a result of that, you guys are each going to get a signed ball by all your coaches and all your teammates. So each of you get an East or a West ball with all your coaches. So they'll get those. So let's congratulate those guys. I also want to recognize Joe Redinger from North Dickinson and Jeff Olson from Ishpeming, our two all-star head coaches. This is definitely a thankless job, and one now that Jeff's taken on twice, 3 overall, and Coach Redinger, this is his second time here. It's a tough deal. These guys have to coordinate all the other coaches and game plan, and I organize some of the logistical stuff, but the football's up to them. This is still melding together, 40 guys on a team and trying to come up with a game plan and a scheme and plays and, terminology and all those different things. So this isn't just kind of show up and have fun week like we all do, like the players do. They got to prepare, they got to meet, try to coordinate all their coaches, meeting times to get together to talk about all those things. So just as a token of my gratitude, I presented each Coach Redinger and Coach Olson with an all-star ring. So all of you guys, let's give them a hand. For that. And for those of you who know everything that kind of goes on with this game, last but not least is my wife Jody. I wouldn't be able to do this if it wasn't for her. She basically lets me, have fun. Some of the all-star guys had a chance to sit down one night, and they're like, "Hey, come in. Hey, why do you do this? What's the deal? Why? How come you do it? Aren't you from Wisconsin and all that?" And to be honest, it's fun. It's fun for me. It keeps me young, and I remember what it was like to be a player, and it's just a fun thing. It's fun to be around these kids. It's fun to be around the coaches and that. But it's for one reason alone, and that's because Jody lets me. So you guys, yeah. It's a lot. So yeah, she puts up with a lot, as do all the coaches' wives out there and all those things. So that's the UP connection. She's from Gwynn. But yeah, it's really because of Jody that she lets me do all this stuff and come hang out with you guys. So give Jody a hand. Okay, I bet I got ahead of myself a little bit there. And now we're gonna do the player and coach introductions here. So West guys, you guys are up right over here.
Okay, fine. What are you going to say? I just said I wouldn't listen. 100%. If they have. Then when you get it past the night, every day. Pretty lucky guy. Doesn't have to do a whole lot of
Okay, now we're going to introduce the West All-Star coaches and players. I'd like to first introduce Coach Joe Redinger from North Dickinson. As I said, he's an All-Star game veteran. He's coached now in a couple All-Star games. So Joe Redinger, the West. Yeah, if all these kids got to get up here and say something, we gotta give a call.
You know, this is a great thing, and it's a lot of fun. You know, I've been at this for way too long, I think, but you know, this will be my 37th year of coaching coming up, and I guess it helps keep me young when I can come up here for a week and have just as much fun as the kids do. That's just what it's all about. I mean. And I've always said that everybody says, how long are you going to coach? How long are you going to coach? And I go, when it's not fun anymore, I'll quit. So all I can tell you is it's a lot of fun, and it's, you know, I got to coach some great kids, and hopefully we can break our streak this week. So anyway, thank you very much. And my assistant coach from North Dickinson has been with me for 22 years, Mike Christian.
I just want to thank Todd for everything. This is a great week. You know, it's hard to see it end. You've got great kids. And thank you very much. And next, oh, by the way, I did play for Joe also. For Jerry Redinger also was next.
Wow, I wasn't expecting this. I would have had something written down for you guys. It's been a great week. You guys out there should be proud. We all got great young men. It's been my pleasure to spend a week with them. I hope they learned a couple of things from what we had to offer to them, and maybe some things that they can carry on to the next chapter of their life. Other than that, thanks to Todd, everything was very good. The hospitality was good, and looking forward to the game tomorrow. Good luck to the East squad. Well, we're going to come after you. Next up is Coach Brent from Stevenson.
Once again, I want to thank Todd and everyone that's helped put this on. It's an amazing week, and they've touched on it already, but the kids that we've been able to meet and spend time with is enjoyable for us. We're educators and teachers, and so we like being around the kids, and usually we're off in the summertime, we get ready for August, but this has been a good experience, not only for the kids, but also for the coaches, as they've mentioned. To see how they come together is really neat. Usually they are used to banging heads and in the weight room with their own teammates from their own town, but to see them come together and enjoy spending time together, it's a good time to see that, and then take that, hopefully, as they said, the next chapter of their lives and going out to college or the workforce and the real life. So it's been enjoyable, and thank you, parents, as Todd already did, for all the great children that you've raised. So next coach is Logan Carlson, who played for me and now coaches with me, so from Stevenson.
Once again, thank you, Todd, for everything, and thank the parents most of all. You have an excellent, excellent group of young men. This week has been very enjoyable. Great kids to work with, so this has been a real honor for me. So also thank all the guys for being great kids. Next up is Coach Troy Ruder.
I just want to thank Todd and Joe for asking me to come and do this. You know, working with these kids has been great this week, and the most special thing that I saw all week was when we went to Maycliff. We get to be around these athletes in the weight room, on the field, stuff like that. But to see them and the way they worked with those kids up there was something I'll never forget. And that's how you know that these kids are really special kids. and a great group of guys. And that's what I'll take from this. I'll remember from that. But thanks for the parents and everything, and it was a great week. Next up is the players. That's good. These are from Forest Park.
That's okay.
They'll introduce each other.
This is Brian Heckthorn. He was my roommate this week. He's from Ironwood, plays on the defensive line. He will be attending Michigan Tech this fall, studying computer science. And his best football memory was an interception he had as a D lineman against West Iron.
This is Derek Aberle from Forest Park. He's coming up here to Northern Michigan University for the electric lineman. He's been playing football since 5th grade, and his best memory was a 84-yard pick six against Hurley, Wisconsin.
My roommate is Seth Rolls from Ontonagon. He plays guard. His favorite memory was getting an interception and a fumble recovery his junior year against Crystal. Plans on going to Michigan State to study psychology. His favorite football team is the Philadelphia Eagles. My roommate is Logan Mackey, and he played running back for the Ewan Trout Creek Panthers. He is unsure of his college plans, and his favorite football memory is beating Posen his junior year.
Hello. This young man right here is Ross Michaels, probably one of the most intelligent men I know. Valedictorian of his class, and he's attending Michigan Tech University on a full ride for biomedical engineering. Also,
Alright, this guy right here, he's from North Central. His name's Dylan Hanchek. Gotta be the coolest guy I ever met. I mean, this guy, I don't even know how I got such a cool roommate. Wow. That's about it. He's going to Chicago to be a diesel engineer? Diesel mechanic. So he's about as smart as I am, so I don't know, he's really cool though.
Alright, this week my roommate was Cody Disjard, and he's from West Iron and plays defensive back, and in his free time he likes to snowboard, and he's going into the Marines this fall.
My roommate this week is Alex Knight. He's from Lake Linden. He's lived there almost all of his life. He has varsity letters in football, basketball, and track, and is attending Michigan Tech this fall. He's pursuing mechanical engineering as his major.
My roommate for this week was John Grable Jr. He goes to Norway. He's a wide receiver, and he's going to Eastern for aviation.
My roommate was Cody Goldsworthy. He's from Lawrence. He plays linebacker, and he will be attending Michigan Tech on a football scholarship.
My roommate was Kenny Picard. He's the quarterback from North Dickinson. He's going to Lakeland to study exercise science, to play baseball in the fall, and his favorite football memory is beating Forest Park.
My roommate was Matt Willman. He's a center from Iron Mountain. He is attending NMU in the fall and studying clinical lab science. His favorite football memory was a pick six against Gwyn.
My roommate was Clark Kangers. He's a middle linebacker from Calumet. He's an amazing football player. When we're scrimmaging this week against the offense, he's in on every tackle. They can't get anywhere with him there, so looking forward to the game. And he's attending Gibbet Community College for generals and then transferring.
Don't tell them that.
My roommate was Sam Lehman from Gibbet. He's the nose guard. He's a family of 8, and he's attending Northern Michigan University for pre-medicine.
I roomed with Jared Revard this weekend, this week, and he's a receiver from Menominee, and his plans are to go to Northern, but he's unsure of what he wants to do at this point. And in his spare time, he likes to play basketball.
My roommate was TJ Rather from Stevenson. He played wingback, and he is going to Central Michigan to major in exercise science.
My roommate for the week was Austin Grinsteiner. He plays quarterback for Stevenson, and he's attending NWTC in the fall. And his favorite football memory was the hook and ladder against North Dickinson.
My roommate was Colin Mochedler. He plays center for Menominee. He'll be attending NMU for business management. And his favorite football memory was beating Kingsford in the playoffs.
My roommate was Owen Karanimi from Calumet, defensive back. He's planning on attending Michigan Tech in the fall for mechanical engineer. His favorite football memory was beating Marquette junior year. That's it.
Roomed with Tony Ward, an outside linebacker from Iron Mountain, and he plans to go to Bay College to pursue a teaching degree, and he would like to coach someday. His favorite football memory was beating Boyne in 3 overtimes last year in the playoffs.
My roommate was Josh Marson. He played guard at Menominee High School, and he will be attending Michigan Tech for engineering, and his favorite football moment was beating Kingsford in the playoffs.
My roommate was Eric Lane. He played quarterback at Wakefield. His best football memory was winning the Great Western Conference. And after high school, I guess this next upcoming, he's going to be attending Muskogee Community College.
My roommate was Sunshine, also known as Reed Larson. He plans on going to Central Michigan to play football and get his education, her education.
My roommate was Cody Berg. He went to North Dickinson, was a defensive back. He plans on going to Bay and then transferring to Northern to pursue a career in construction management.
My roommate is Kyle Larson. He plays for Calumet on the D-line and O-line, and he plans to go to Gibbet Community College for criminal justice.
My
tight end and defensive end. He plans to go to Northern to play football and major in athletic trainer.
My roommate was Paul Brooks. He's from Iron Mountain. He's a fullback, and he plans on going to Northern and majoring in business.
My roommate was Brian Hines. He went to Menominee and played defensive back. He's going to Wisconsin Lutheran to play basketball and possibly football, and he's undecided on his major.
My roommate was Aiden Winky. He's came from Kingsford. He played safety. He's going to Michigan Tech to study pre-med, and he's going to be playing football with his two brothers.
My roommate was Caleb Winkler. He went to Wakefield Marinesco but played for Gogebic. His nickname is Wink, so my nickname's Wink, so I always turn my head when his friends all call him. His favorite football moment was winning the Great Western Conference, and his favorite football team is the ugly New York Giants.
This is Chris Breyer from Menominee. He was a D lineman and he plans to be a diesel mechanic.
My roommate this week is Adam Bjorn, and we always didn't see eye to eye. I'm just kidding, we got along just fine. He plans on going to Michigan Tech this fall, and he's number 52. He plays guard for the offense, and I've enjoyed my week with him.
My roommate was Taylor Hootery from Iron Mountain. He's number 28 tomorrow, playing DB, and he plans to go to NMU for mathematics.
My roommate was Jeremy Rivard from Menominee. He wears number 56. He's going to be playing defensive tackle tomorrow. And he plans on attending Northern Michigan University for a degree in computer science.
This is Travis Wagren from Stevenson. He wears number 82. His favorite football memory is the hook and ladder against North Dickinson, which was just a lucky play. Ironically enough, they scored.
My roommate was Dominic Christians. He was a tailback for North Dickinson. He is going to Wisconsin Lutheran to play football and to study pre-vet, and his greatest football memory was beating Crystal Falls.
Dylan Dario didn't have a roommate this week, so he kind of joined our group. He's gonna play offensive tackle. His favorite football memory was beating Stevenson 55-27 this year. Yeah, which was the same game that they ended up hitting the hook and ladder. He's also going to Wisconsin Lutheran, and he's studying nursing.
Those are your West All-Stars.
West players you can find out this
Okay, now I'd like to introduce the head coach for the East All-Stars, our recent state champions from Ishpeming, Jeff Olson.
everybody for coming. You don't understand, and I'm sure your kids are going to tell you what a great week they had this week. And fortunately, this is my third time that I've been able to coach in this All-Star game. And some of the similarities that happen, the biggest one that I see is, and it's happened all 3 times, is the camaraderie, how that comes together by the end of the week. And the first day you come in and to the cafeteria and their first meal at noon, they come in and there's a clique of kids here and a clique of kids here and here and here. And by the end of the week, it's always the same, where today I went in and had lunch and all the tables are put together in one line and the whole team's eating together. And this is the 3rd time I've been here. That's the 3rd time that's happened. And it's because of what Todd Goldbeck does and how he puts this on. This is such a great experience for these kids that they wouldn't get otherwise. And before the first one in 2008, all their, the only All-Star game there was the one downstate, the East-West All-Star game. And the UP always got slighted in that, even though there's great football up here. And there'd only be 1 or 2 that could go down there. So now you're talking about, anywhere from 80 kids that get to experience something like this. And Todd and his staff really treat these kids like kings. They treat us coaches something special, and that's why we keep coming back. But he's not the only brains of the outfit, and I'd like to recognize his wife, Jody. Where's Jody? Jody, stand up, please. Where? Way over here. Every year I've been here, Jody works tirelessly, and Todd gets all the credit, and he wants all the credit. So thanks, Jody, sit in the back there. So, but and she has a staff too that they always come up and do a great job. So with that, I'd like to introduce a great friend of mine, my #1 assistant at Ishpeming High School, who's been with me, and he does a lot for us, and he's very important, and he's one of the big reasons why we have been successful every year. And this year I know he wants to be a head coach, and he had a chance to have a great teaching job and a head coaching job, and he turned it down and to stay with us at Ishpeming. And when he was going through this process, I didn't have, how budgets are, high school budgets. I didn't have anything to offer him. I couldn't offer him more money to help him stay. But then I was remembering a long time ago watching Cheers. If some of you older people watch Cheers, and Woody and Sam were a little upset about what they were getting paid. So one of the bar, who's the one? No, who's the lady that owned the bar? Who ran it? Well, anyway, the bar manager brought him in the back and said, "Well, I got something better than money. It's a title." And she talked him into taking the title instead of the money. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce the new associate head coach, Scott Sergio.
Quite the introduction. Thank you, Jeff, for saying everything I was just about to say. The experience this week has been absolutely unbelievable. We as coaches, we sat down. I saw the same thing that Jeff saw, and I went to Todd today, and I said, "How'd the week go? Was there any problems? Was there any outside influences, anything like that?" He said, "You know what, Serge?" He said, "I think we got the best group of kids that I've had for all the years that I've been doing this." So I think not only do the kids deserve recognition for that, the parents and family does as well. So thank you. I want to thank Todd. This is my second time doing this All-Star game. It's every time it gets better and better and better. I even mentioned to him today, I said, "You got this down to a science?" He said, "I sure do." And it's absolutely ran with the utmost class. And I thank the parents, the players, and everybody that's a part of it, Todd's wife, and then of course Todd. So with that, I would introduce a coach that I've coached with now for the last few years. Unfortunately is leaving us at Ishpeming. and is going to Gwynn, but great guy, great coach, Coach Deion Brown.
You know, first I want to thank the parents. You know, you guys got tremendous kids. You know, these guys, they keep me young. You know, we have so much fun. You know, and Todd, you did an excellent job of putting this together. This is my first year doing this All-Star game, and I swear, if you need me to come back, I'll come back. You know, every year. You know, but the one thing I want, you know, the East and the West team is to take from out of this is that Bay Cliff, yesterday where we went, you know, that's an experience of a lifetime, especially for those guys, for the little kids there. You know, their eyes lit up when they seen us coming into that building. So, you know, take that and remember that for the rest of you guys' life, because that's special to them. The next guy I want to introduce, I've been knowing him for about 4 years now. He's head coach of Bark River, Brad Welger.
There's really not much left to say, but I want to echo the sentiments of all the other coaches. It really is a fantastic week, and I want to extend thank yous to Todd for the smooth running, for Jeff for allowing me to do this, and to the families and communities of these truly great young men. It's been a remarkable week, it really has. So with that, I'll introduce the head football coach at St. Ignace, Marty Spencer.
And again, Todd Golbeck does a fantastic job. Your kids are quality young men. A couple terms come to mind when I think about the kids that we've had the privilege and honor to coach this week is character, integrity, and punctuality. But I say punctuality with a little grain of salt, because yesterday when we were headed to Bay Cliff, we're all on the bus, and Todd is very, very strict on making sure we're always on time, everything's going well. And the 2 team buses take off, and a couple of our guys, and I was in charge because Jeff was a celebrity yesterday at a golf tournament, and so, you know, I was a little bit nervous about that, and here come one of our guys late, so he has to get on the coach's bus. And he got on very quietly, and I'm not going to say their names, and we're getting about 7 miles down the road, we're rolling along, air conditioning, and this player's phone rings. And it's a call, and we forgot another one. We had to turn around and go back and pick them up. But Todd had the bus driver whip around it, and we got him, and we went to Bay Cliff, and it was a life-changing experience, not only for all of these guys here, but for us coaches. Fantastic time, and I got to thank Todd for setting that up. And again, it's a privilege to be here, and as Coach Brown said, if Todd needs me, I'll be here any year he wants. Next up, Gordy Campbell, head coach or coach at the Sioux, who we will be playing this year for the first time in a while.
As it goes, when I got here, I really didn't know what I was going to be getting into, but you know, obviously we can't say it enough. Todd, this whole setup is top notch. You know, that being said, this week, I guess what I'm going to take away from it is the time I got to spend with my guys, the defensive line, just the progression throughout the week, and you know, they wanted to let you know there's going to be a show tomorrow. So look on that front on the defensive side. And then I'd like to introduce my roommate for the week, Coach Lynn here. He is going to be in, what is it? Fitness, exercise.
Yeah.
He's going to try that.
Obviously, my roommate was Coach Campbell. We set a record at Buffalo Wild Wings this week. The sad thing about it is we stayed at the Comfort Suites and all they had was a queen-size bed. And he majors in snoring. So, anyway, this is actually my last time coaching for business reasons, so I appreciate Jeff letting me come on his staff. I played for Jeff back in 1993, I think. He was a 7th grade basketball coach of mine. And he brought in a nice picture this morning of me being a 90-pound skinny kid. Though I was skinny at one time. These kids are great. I've had a lot of fun with them. My biggest thing is the 5 kids we brought here went 1-8, 0-9, 2-7. And this year we made the playoffs. And you can tell the strength and conditioning program that Gordy runs in the Sioux is working because we're pumping out some weightlifters over here. So that was a great experience for us this year. Joel Paquette and the very cute Dave Fallish.
This is my buddy Joe Paquette. He went to Munising and he's our center. He's going to Michigan State and majoring in construction management, and he has a habit of sleeping through his alarm clock.
I thought it was his alarm, so I was getting mad at him. But this is my roommate, David Fallish. He's our quarterback. He's a great athlete. He could probably do it all out in the field, but I don't know, he likes to dance around a little bit. And next year he's going to Tech to play football and majoring in environmental engineering. Yep. And he's a team captain, so very well liked on the team. I guess he has more friends than me or something, I don't know. And, yeah, well, it's Dave Fallish.
This is my roommate, Gino Constantino. He went to Rapid River, played D-line. He played football, basketball, and track. He played in the 8-man football championship game in the Dome. He plans on going to Northern next year and majoring in criminal justice. And his favorite drink is Mountain Dew.
This is my roommate, James Young III, or Jim, or Jimbo. He went to Newberry. His favorite football memory is beating Munising to win the Axe. He'll be going to Jamestown and North Dakota to play football. And yeah, that's good.
This week I got to room with Curtis St. Louis. He played for St. Agnes. They went to state semifinals. Yeah, he got the honors of being all-state defensive back and all-UP Dream Team defensive back. He plans on going to Northern Michigan University this fall.
This week I got the room with Kyle Spencer from Engadine. He plays guard on our team, on our all-star team. Plans on going to Michigan Tech to study aerospace engineering. And his favorite football memory is beating Cedarville in the regional championship.
My roommate was Caden Barbo from Cedarville. His favorite football memory is getting running clock against me for halftime. And he plans on attending Central Michigan University to major in corporate finance.
Got it.
We good? I got the room with Daniel Stewart this week. Pretty cool guy. He played wide receiver for Superior Central, and he's playing wide receiver for us tomorrow. He plans on attending NMU. Really undecided at right now, he said. And his favorite football memory was having 4 interceptions against Cedarville, come back in the 4th quarter to beat us in the last 6 seconds.
My roommate this week was Austin Brown from Sault Ste. Marie. He's a middle linebacker, and he's going to Northwood, and he is playing football. And his favorite football moment was beating Gladstone on 4 fourth down conversions in the 4th quarter. And he's a pretty big guy, and he's been working really hard to tackle me all weekend in scrimmages. And he doesn't like it when people grab his arms.
My roommate is Eric James Kostriva. He played for Ishmael last season and won a state championship, so congrats to him on that. And then his favorite football team is the Chicago Bears. And he plans on going to Michigan Tech University to play football and study biomedical engineering.
My roommate was Mitchell Johnson, otherwise known as ESPN, all of us East players. The reason that is because you ask him a question about any sport, whether it be bowling, football, baseball, swimming, you name it, he knows the stats. But no, he's a really cool guy. He plays for the D-line for us, went to Bark River Harris High School. His favorite football moment was winning a game this year. He's going to Grand Valley State to hopefully become a physical therapist.
My roommate this week was Steve Strom. He went to Gladstone and he played on the offensive line. And this week he's playing center for us. Does a great job. And he's going to Wisconsin Lutheran next year to play football, and he hasn't yet decided a major.
Hello. My roommate is Casey DeChambeau. He plays linebacker for us. He came from Escanaba. He's going to go to Concordia. He's going to be a pharmacist. So he's a great guy too. So that's Casey.
Next to me here is C.J. Redfern. He graduated from Gwynn High School. He is a defensive lineman. His favorite high school football memory is beating Westwood. He is planning on leaving his family in the fall and coming to NMU to study basically CAD work. So he's a good guy.
My roommate this week was Zach Rankin, played running back for Westwood. He's going to Michigan Tech to study engineering management, and he's an avid stamp collector.
My roommate is Jared Jago. His nickname is Jiggy. He's probably one of the funniest guys here. He has a pretty ridiculous laugh. He's going to NMU to be a teacher, and his favorite football memory was beating Nagani this year.
My roommate was Rayshawn Anderson. He's from the Sioux. He's a wide receiver. He's a pretty good dancer. He likes to break out his Dougie. He's gone to Alpena to play basketball and major in criminal justice.
Thank you, Alex. All right. My roommate is Alex Sherbina, and for the most part, we do see eye to eye. He will be attending Michigan Tech next year to, I forget what you're going to do. He'll be majoring in business, and the guy's really a great field goal kicker. I mean, he'll kick with the opposite foot. And his favorite memory is beating Nagani. And That's all.
My roommate this week was David Fix from Escanaba. He's playing left tackle for us, and he will be attending St. Norbert's College and majoring in business management.
My roommate was Tanner Uren. He's from Nagani. He's our quarterback. He's pretty lucky when it comes to the casino. And he's playing basketball for Michigan Tech.
This is my roommate, Sam Ekla. He's from Pickford, and he's going to Lake Superior State in the fall, and he's undeclared. And tomorrow he'll be playing tackle for us.
All right, this is my roommate, Kyle Root. He played for the Sioux. He's going to be going to Northern this fall, and he's going to be playing fullback for them, and he's going to be going for construction management.
This is Joel Waneke. He's from Marquette, and he's playing offensive guard tomorrow. And in the fall, he plans to go to Michigan Tech to play basketball and football. This big boy's not playing basketball. And he's playing football, and he plans to study electrical engineering.
My roommate's Dustin Grappel. He is from Nagani, and he plays outside linebacker for us. He plans to go to Northern Michigan to major in physics.
This is my roommate, Nate Klisch, and he graduated from Westwood High School, where he played corner. And in his free time, he enjoys hunting and fishing and playing hockey. And in the fall, he plans on attending Michigan Tech, where he'll major in civil engineering.
This is my roommate, Blake Kaufman. He went to Maplewood Baptist Academy, and he actually played for the Pickford Panthers, and he's our outside linebacker, and he's attending Lake State University for sports medicine.
My roommate this week was James Bonnell from Pickford. He was an offensive lineman and defensive tackle. He's playing defensive tackle for us in the game tomorrow. He's a really nice guy. He plans on attending Northern and majoring in criminal justice. We actually used to go to elementary school together, so it was nice to be able to see him again this week and kind of reunite with him.
My roommate this week was Ryan Wolin. He's from the Sioux. He's playing D-back for us this weekend. And he's going to LSSU for education. And yeah.
This is my roommate, TJ Swanson. Graduated from Westwood High School. In high school, he played basketball, golf, and football. He'll be attending Michigan Tech and majoring in forestry.
My roommate's name is Alex Dempsey. He went to Nagani High School, where he played football and track. He's going to St. Norbert's to study international economics.
My roommate this week was Max Nason. He's our tight end for us this week. He's going to Iowa for teaching, right? Yeah, for teaching. He's a hell of a tight end. I'll tell you what. His size, you would never expect him. He's real good.
Brown. He went to the Sioux, played D-line and O-line. He's on the D-line for us tomorrow. He's going to Ridgewater College in Minnesota. He's going to major in criminal justice.
I got to room with Eric Dompier this week, and he's our place kicker, and he's quite the ladies' man. Whenever we're out somewhere, late at night or whatever, and there's ladies around, they're all at Dom's, none of us. We don't get to talk to any of them. He's going to Marisa, and he's going to do a lot of internships around Marquette and stuff.
Brad Woodkey, play track and football, and he's a good guy.
I don't know if he said that we're all from Ishpeming or not, but RJ over here is going to Northern next year. Plays football, not for Northern, but he played football for us. Linebacker. In his free time, he enjoys taking midnight walks on the beach and also likes to do underwater basketball.
My roommate this week was Jared Levine. He played running back and cornerback for Pickford, but he's playing cornerback for us tomorrow. He also played basketball, track, and baseball, and he plans to attend NMU this fall.
This is my roommate, Joey Lyle. He went to Ishpeming High School. He's part of their state championship team, played DN, and he also played basketball there. He'll be attending Northern this fall for athletic training.
God, I hate being the last group to go. This is Adam Francis. He's my roommate. Been a rival with him since he's Nagani, but it's pretty cool room with somebody like that. He's a pretty cool guy. We don't talk a lot because we're both pretty quiet, but he's definitely a very good linebacker, and he lets me play my music as loud as I want, which I do appreciate. His favorite memory was beating those state champs. And he will be attending Michigan Tech University, where he'll be playing linebacker, and this will probably be the only time I'll ever say this: go Huskies.
My roommate was Jared Edwards. He's from Manistee. He played linebacker and guard there. He also did track, where he beat me in discus by like a foot. Congrats. His favorite football memory was beating Harbor Springs in double overtime. He will be attending NMU for pre-medicine and majoring in biochemistry.
Those are your East All-Stars. Come on, guys.
It has been a long and anxious journey from the Upper Peninsula for Ishpeming to Ford Field, but it's well worth it. A much more brisk trip for the Bulldogs of Loyola, who finally have reached one of their goals. These two teams have never met, but on this sunny Saturday, one will be crowned a Michigan high school football champion.
Let's start with the bookend tackles. Malik McDowell, 6'7", 290, and K. John Armstrong, 6'5", 275. And they're the ones that open up the holes for this young man. That's Kimani Gabriel. averages over 11 yards per carry. Now, last time I checked, Shep, that's a first down.
They're my best bet this week. They're playing so well. I think if they were even in Division 6, they would put up a good fight there and might win that division. They just got too much power. They're too big. They're too fast. And the thing is,
these are two linebackers. They're physical linebackers, but their technique sound. They know how to use the outside shoulder, keep leverage, they're able to slide to the ball, and they're going to have to keep their bodies off those big offensive linemen because they will get engulfed. But if they can do that, they might be able to slow down.
2nd and long for the Bulldogs. On an end around Campbell, and he's grabbed from behind for no gain. Eric Kostreva from the linebacker spot. Kostreva again, wiggled his way through, bounced to the outside. Does he have the speed to get to the house? Just shy of the goal line. Nice run, and Anthony Frierson prevented the touchdown. No, they did call it a touchdown. 55 yards to pay dirt for Eric Kostreva.
Well, Kostreva is going to be able to
back. Ishpeming leads Loyola 6-0, but their head coach Jeff Olson coaches today on the sidelines here at Ford Field with a heavy heart. 2 weeks prior to this football campaign, he expected to have his son along with him on his staff, but his son left this world way too early. Because of that, Jeff Olson, rather than feeling sorry for himself, is going out to schools throughout the state and wherever anyone may want to hear his words of how to prevent teenage suicide. It's a growing problem in our society today, and Coach Olson is trying to prevent that from anyone else having the type of heartbreak that he's been suffering throughout this year and throughout the rest of his life. Jumbo package in for him. Kostreva. Give it 6. They've worked really, really hard to get here, and they are working hard in this Division 7 state championship game. Jonas, who was a freshman on special teams a couple of years ago when they lost in the state championship game. Kostreva. That play has worked well. Look at him still running. And to daylight he goes! Lowers the shoulder to get inside the 5. Anthony Frierson tracked him down, but the most spectacular run of the day for Eric Kostreva right there. How about that per carry average, huh?
Oh, Kimani Gabriel had 11.6 coming in per carry. We thought that was unbelievable.
Give it to him again. Touchdown! Eric Kostreva.
Well, we're going to look at the left side at the point of attack. Nice job leading through, but how about Kostreva? The strength and good call by the officials. The ball does stretch over the goal line. But Coach Olson said, we're not real big, but we will hit the line hard. We come off the ball, we will execute. We hit things quickly. We don't make our guys stand blocks too long.
Yeah, he said there's no colleges beating down our doors. But you know what? Our guys are as tough as they come. They lead by 4. They want to lead by 6 with a 2-point conversion. Quarterback still has it, and they do.
Oh, my. Did you see that?
Briones delivered the blow. Gabriel again. No, he's not going to get it.
He's going to lose a little bit.
I would just
I'd run
go
a
up.
sneak.
Yep,
I'd
run
go
a
no
sneak.
count.
Yep.
And I'd look for the big man in there, and I'd probably sneak it wherever he is in.
So would I. I mean, you wouldn't hear a word come out of the quarterback's mouth. Just goose it. There it is.
He's got it.
He's got it. Gutsy call by Jeff Olson.
Good call by you, partner.
Gutsy call.
Yep.
What was his heart rate at?
Coach Olson, what? Hats off. I mean, he has prepared this team so well to compete here in the David and Goliath matchup, which we talked about. And they've been slinging some stones, I'll tell you that.
16 tackles for the senior Eric Kostreva.
Well, this is it right here, Shep.
Look at how deep the Hematites are playing. They've got a center fielder at the 16-yard line. Toby Sharp for the season. Pressure comes, throws it up, and it is incomplete. promotion for Jeff Olson. The boys of fall are now the champions of fall in Ishpeming. And their motto this year, and help us choke back the tears for Daniel. The coach's son with shirts on the front that say Boys of Fall, his number. On the back is a cross that has his name. And they have pictures decorated. They know how much they miss him. There's a tear in one eye because of who they miss, and there is a tear of joy in the other because of what they accomplished. And what an accomplishment it was. Ishpeming surprises many. If you talk to a lot of folks prior to the game, who's going to win this? Many people thought it might be a running clock. Instead, it's Ishpeming running off the Ford Field turf, Rob Rubick, with an impressive trophy, and they earned it.
Well, they sure did, Shep. You know, being down in the field, I realized how tough this team, physically, mentally tough they were. Because if you stacked them up, you know, when you pick teams as a kid in the playground and you look at one guy compared to the next guy, the guys in the white jerseys looked a lot better, but the guys in the blue ones played extremely tough.
No one better to talk to Jeff Olson than our Shannon Hogan. Shannon?
Coach, can you just walk me through your emotions and the excitement and the feeling that's going on right now for you and your team?
Well, if you know the story about my son, this is like a family to me, this group of kids. And I know they wanted to win it for me, they wanted to win it for my son. I'm just so happy they did it.
Wow. Best group of kids he's ever coached, and there's his wife who embraces one another and says, you did it, and the Hematite community did it as well. Final score from the Division 7 state championship game. Ishpeming wins their first title since '75. They beat Detroit Loyola 20-14. For my partner, Rob Rubick, Shannon Hogan, our entire Fox Sports Detroit staff, I'm Matt Shepard.
It gives me great pleasure to introduce Jeff Olson, head coach of the Division 7 Michigan State champion Ishpeming Hematites, as the keynote speaker this evening. Coach Olson, his family, and his community have been through some of the best and worst that life has to offer, all within a very short amount of time, and they've been through it together. The loss of classmates and family members, changing Michigan sports legislation, and both losing then winning a state championship, the Ishpeming family has grown closer through all of it. Jeff was born and raised in Marquette, where he played football and basketball at Marquette High School for Hall of Fame coaches Mike Molesky and Gordy Leduc. Jeff was named first team All-UP in both sports, and since he was 15, he's been working construction during the summer months. Jeff went to Northern Michigan University, where he graduated with a bachelor's degree in business management in 1985 and a teaching certificate in Fayette in 1987. He's taught in Ishpeming School District for the last 16 years. Prior to that, he taught 2 years at Sault Ste. Marie and has also taught in the Marquette and Gwinn school districts. Jeff has been coaching football for the past 31 years. His resume includes 8 years as a JV coach in Marquette, 2 years as a varsity assistant in Sault Ste. Marie, and the past 21 as head coach in Ishpeming. Jeff's record as the head coach at Ishpeming is 144-78. His Hematites have won 3 conference championships, 8 district championships, were state runner-up in 2010, and won the D7 state championship this past year in 2012. Throughout his football coaching career, Jeff has been named Regional Coach of the Year 8 times, UP Coach of the Year in '94 and 2003, and the 2012 Michigan High School Football Coaches Association and Detroit News Division 7 State Coach of the Year. Jeff states that he was very fortunate to have legendary football coach Buck Nystrom assist him in Ishpeming for 10 seasons. In addition to football, he also coaches track and field and was just named the new head basketball coach in Ishpeming for this upcoming school year. Jeff's football teams have the reputation for playing hard-nosed, smash-mouth football. He emphasizes being very fundamentally sound and not too fancy. His defenses have proven very stingy and have been the #1 defense in the Mid-Penn Conference numerous times. His former running back has the state record for carries in a game and a season. Jeff is an All-Star Game veteran, having been the head coach for the East in the inaugural game in 2008, and also an assistant in 2010 when his son Daniel was an All-Star quarterback. And now this year again is back as the head coach for the East team. Without any further delay, please help me welcome Jeff Olson.
much. One little add-on to that state championship game, and most of you weren't there, and you probably couldn't hear. It was kind of interesting, I started hearing, and we had Eric Dompier, whose dad fought the MHSAA and won something fantastic, and that's going to help kids for many, many years. But I really wanted to get Eric in the game. That was one of my goals in that game. But I think it was somewhere towards the end of the second quarter. I could hear people in the stands every once in a while. Put Dompier in, and I could hear put Dompier in. And all of a sudden, then we came out, and it was a close game. It was hard to get, try to get him in there in the third quarter. Some other people started adding along. So then it was more people saying that, you hear it every once in a while. Groups of people saying, put Dompier in, we want Dompier, we want Dompier. And then by the fourth quarter, it was getting, everybody joined in, and it was getting deafening, we want Dompier. And we scored our last touchdown, and, everybody thought we were going to put him in to kick, so everybody in the stands, I think even Loyola didn't want to see what this Dompier guy was all about. So, it was just deafening, we want Dompier, we want Dompier. So after we scored that last touchdown, I called Eric over. I said, Eric, come here. So he grabbed his extra point tee and he ran over to me. Yeah, Coach? I said, well, did you hear them in the stands? He said, yeah, Coach, I hear them. I said, they want you. He goes, yeah, I know, Coach, I'm ready. I said, okay, we'll go up and see what they want. We're doing fine without you down Really, and one thing too, these kids have been great all weekend long, and parents, you got to be proud of your kids. I didn't hear one bad thing from anybody except for Eric. He was whining all week that once he found out ESPN and Sports Illustrated weren't going to be around. The best thing I think about this state championship that we won is it gave me and my family a platform to talk about anxiety and depression, where people would listen and good people like you would listen, and suicide. There's a stigma about anxiety and depression where people are afraid to mention it, afraid to get help, because if you do, you're considered weak. People might think you're crazy. So there's a big stigma attached to it, and we want to change that stigma so people want to get help. Anxiety and depression is a medical illness. When people kind of freak out when they hear mental illness, like you're going crazy or something, but it's a medical illness, and people have to remember that. Our son Daniel he was a normal kid. He played in this all-star game. He was, player of the year in the UP. He defensive player of the year 2 years in a row in basketball. Had lots of great friends. I had girlfriends. He'd sit here and talk to you like nothing was wrong, but he suffered from anxiety and depression, and too many people suffer alone with that, and they're afraid to get help. But it's a medical illness, and my suggestion to you, and we got a lot of people here that are good people, and a lot of people look up to all these kids. A lot of people look up to you parents because you've raised such great kids. So if we can get the word out that mental illness anxiety and depression is a medical illness, and people are afraid to say the word suicide. Suicide just happens to be a side effect of anxiety and depression. And as a father and as a family, we were so proud of the way Daniel fought it for years, probably 8 years. And he did it the right way. He asked for help. And when he was a freshman, it was the first time he contemplated suicide, and we didn't know anything at that point. If he would have did it at that point and completed it, like lot of kids do, I probably wouldn't be standing here right now. I don't know if I could have coached anymore. It would have been such a shock. We'd have been blaming ourselves. But he's one of the few that got help. He asked for help. And he would say, and his illness was it was like a terminal illness. And the doctors even told us 4 months before he passed to start preparing ourselves, because all the medications he tried didn't work. All the counseling he tried didn't work. So he was an unfortunate one, but there's so many people out there that suffer from this. And we know that because people, since this happened, people have talked to us and come forward. People here in the community have had calls from people around the UP, around the state, and around the country, thanking us for bringing this out in the open, because now more and more people are talking about it, and their kids are not afraid to say, I need some help. It's one of the most curable diseases out there, as long as you ask for help. You know, and Daniel used to always say, you know, Dad, I don't want to die, I just can't handle it anymore, and we've tried everything, and nothing works. And that's the number one thing that people need, is hope. And he had hope for so many years, but a lot of people, they get in this dark hole and they lose hope. But there is hope, like I said, and everybody here, you can tell people, and if you know of anybody who suffers from this, you know, there is help. It's one of the most curable diseases out there. So, you know, when people talk about, you know, our players, you know, doing this, you know, wanting to win a state championship for Daniel, because it was Daniel's dream to win a state championship. Well, it wasn't his dream to win a state championship for him. He told me many times his dream was to win a state championship for me. So I have to believe somehow, you know, somewhere, some way, he was up there guiding us through. And he felt so bad his senior year when we lost by 2 in the state championship. And 3 months before he passed away, it was last week at St. Norbert College. He called me up and he was having a great day, and he said, Dad, the only thing I want right now is for you to win a state championship. And he was coming back home because the doctors ordered him to come home, and he was going to help coach us this year. So believe me when I say this, you know, I'm very passionate about it now, that people look up to you. Everybody in this room, you're the best of the best. You're the best of the best parents, you're the best of the best kids, and you know, people will listen to you. So if you ever know of somebody, don't be afraid to go get them help, or have them get help, because you know, we're getting rid of that stigma. So thank you for listening to me about that. Now for my speech, you know, let me start by telling you this. I owe a lot to football. You know, it's amazing how football emulates life. You know, one of the things you learn in football is learn how to win. In any sport, you learn how to win and you learn how to lose. You know, you learn how to handle that success. You learn how to handle adversity, because there's a lot of it and it's such a tough game. You know, my coach in high school was Mike Molesky, and it's one of the coaches I respect most in this whole world. You know, and you take so much from athletics and football, but he preached 2 things: commitment and discipline. You know, if you have that commitment, if there's something that you want and you put every ounce of energy and do everything you can to be the best that you can be in that sport, and our sport was football, you're going to succeed. And the same thing was with discipline. Talked about discipline always. You know, if you do the right thing all the time, that's what discipline is. If you do it off the field, on the field, when things get tough, he says you have those 2 things, you're going to have a chance to succeed in this world. And I really believe that, and that inspired me. And I was very fortunate to have him as my high school coach, who won a state championship also at Ishmael. And I was also fortunate to have Buck Nystrom, you know, national champion coach, who won 3 national championships as a coach, very well known around the country. And Buck would always tell us, football is an uncommon game. There's no other game like it. You need more in football to be successful than in any other sport. You know, just for instance, you need size, you need quickness, strength, power, intelligence, size, heart, technique, toughness, and you have to be a little crazy to play football well. But the bottom line is, it's hard. Football is hard, especially when you're going 2 days in the summer when it's 90 degrees out. You know, and I have always remembered a quote from Woody Hayes, legendary coach at Ohio State. He'd say, nothing that comes easy is worth a dime. And I've never seen anybody make a tackle with a smile on his face. I believe that if you go through something tough in your life, if you go through something hard, it's going to be easier when something negative or challenging or important comes about in your life. And football is hard. And that's why you learn so much from playing football. There's a bond that forms. And we see that bond this week on how the kids band together. You know, and the night my son died, I was by myself for a while. My parents came and got my kids, and my wife was downstate, unfortunately, and took her 7 hours to get back up here. And I was at my house alone for a little bit, and then all of a sudden people started showing up. And everybody in my house till 4:30 in the morning was from football. Whether it was former players showed up, whether it was former coaches that showed up, parents of players that I coach, and they stayed with me till 4:30 in the morning, and half my team came over and stayed with my daughter till 4:30 in the morning. You know, so football is an unbelievable sport that bonds form because you do so much together, and you sacrifice so much together. And the life lessons I learned and experienced from Coach Molesky made me passionate about coaching. I wanted to help kids, and I wanted to relay that message that Coach Molesky gave to me. But little did I know that I was going to be using those life lessons to help me through the biggest adversity in my life. You know, when things have gone really tough, I think of my parents, but I think of Coach Molesky, you know, and how he wanted us to commit and be great and be disciplined. So I always think of him in tough times, and, you know, for some reason I don't want to let him down. I've had some great wins in my career, but I've also had some tough, gut-wrenching losses. There's been many times when things haven't gone our way during games, practices, with injuries, mistakes, bad calls by referees, things like that you know, that hurt you, and you can't understand why. Okay, but you acquire skills in football which enable you to deal with it, to move on, to live for the next play or the next game, and start working your tail off for something better to happen. I personally had to use every lesson I learned from my former coaches and Mike Molesky to survive this year. Many beliefs I had were questioned, but I'll tell you this, they were only questioned for a little bit. I finally realized that the sun is always shining, maybe behind the clouds a lot, but it is always shining somewhere. And eventually it's going to come out behind the clouds. So let me tell you this, adversity does not have to defeat you. If it defeated us when our kids went through the adversity that they had, losing another teammate, the 3 deaths that we had from people close to them, you know, an unbelievable unfair ruling by the MHSAA, probably because they were still mad at the Dompiers kicking their rear end during the off season. You know, we had all the adversity that those kids had to have on their mind, and if we weren't able to handle adversity, there wouldn't be as much bling floating around Ishpeming town right now. At some point in your life, and this goes to all you young kids, a major event is going to happen. You know, you really can't avoid it. So I ask you this, when that happens, what's your strategy? I learned from a great football coach a long time ago. Always have a strategy when something goes wrong. So ask yourself, what's your strategy going to be when negative things go against you? Or when you really want something? What's your strategy to get the sun out from behind the clouds? You know, we had a strategy going into Detroit Lola. We had to follow that to a T when the odds were against us. You know, when you're going for that dream job, all of a sudden maybe it's a $100,000 a year job that you know you're going to be able to support your family, you know, and just enjoy your life. You know, what's your strategy going to be to go and get that job? Just filling out an application form or making a phone call is probably not going to work. And then what's your strategy when adversity hits? You know, probably about the second day after my son died and I was tired of feeling like crap, I sat down with myself and I remembered what my coach had said. So I developed a strategy. My strategy was 3 things. I was going to start jogging, because jogging, I don't know, released some endorphins. It, you know, gave you a little bit more energy, made me feel a little bit better throughout the day. I also said I was going to laugh some more. I wasn't going to give that up, because laughing made me feel good. So I wasn't going to stop joking around, consciously making these decisions. And then the last thing I said, in Daniel's name, we're going to start helping people, you know, with anxiety and depression, and get that out there. And that plan, you know, that strategy has really helped me deal with this and move on and accomplish a lot of great things with the kids that we had from Ishpeming. But then again, and I never thought in a speech I'd be quoting Mike Tyson, but Mike Tyson said, everyone has a strategy until you get punched in the mouth. And our kids this year got, in the last 2 years, have gotten punched in the gut, they got punched in the mouth. Detroit Loyola punched in the mouth. Unfortunately, Nagani punched us in the mouth. But I believe the lessons you learned from football really help you deal with all the adversity. It really helped me. Football also builds great people. My coach, Mike Molesky, like I said, one of the things when I played for him, he said in order to be a great athlete, he would tell us, you have to be a great person first, and that's where discipline came in. And he really wanted us to be great people off the field. And that stuck with me, and that inspired me, and that's why my third year back here at the All-Star game, because I get to coach and play against great people. Football also builds character. Character is what you do when no one is watching. When I struggled this summer, our players did this. They had that character. They worked their tails off when I wasn't there. They policed their own program. We had a couple kids screw around that they found out, and they put them through the mill at weightlifting sessions for a month. Kids wanted to quit. They were ready to transfer to Nagani, one of them. Okay? And my daughter, who's here today, would always come back. One of them was one of her friends. She'd say, Dad, tell the captains to stop doing that. I said, I'm not doing that. This is their team. They've earned it, and they're policing their own program. And believe it or not, and I cut this out of the paper, and I have it in my desk drawer. It's a quote from Tom Izzo. And Tom Izzo said, you know you have a great program when it polices itself. And that's what happened this year. Dream of mine was to win a state championship. So I always talk to coaches, what does it take? What do you got to do? Because I was trying to form a strategy. What do you do? What do you have to do to win a state championship? And everyone told me, he said, Jeff, the best, most talented teams we've had never won one. It's that team where you get a bunch of great kids who have great parental support, that from the time they're kindergarten, they care about their kids, and they teach them the right values, and they push them into sports, and they learn through sports. He said, those are the ones we've won state championships with. That played through with us this year. This wasn't the most talented team we had. 2 years ago, we were definitely more talented than this one. But they had all the intangibles. Sure, great talent has a chance for success. Brilliant minds have a chance for success. But I'll take the great person, the hard worker, the person with character, and someone with a passion every time over somebody with a lot of ability. You can't learn any of this in books or classes. You learn it on the field, like I did. So for me, I wasn't going to put my head down in the sand and keep feeling sorry for myself. But I'll tell you what, it was hard to say I was blessed. I was hit with a huge tragedy. But you know what? I am blessed. I have a great family. I have a great cause now to help people in my son's name. We have a great community that we live in that bonded together to help our family and help our team achieve what they achieved. And I got some great kids to coach this year. And because of that, I have a ring. Something my son always wanted me to have. So like I said, I owe a lot to football. Thank you.
That concludes the program for tonight. Thanks everybody for coming. Thanks especially all the parents, the fans, the families. Thanks all to the players. You guys have been great all week. Special thanks again to Coach Olson. Before you guys kind of get up, there's tons of food left, so you guys got to keep eating and take care of something. I told all the players they had to go eat dinner before because I didn't want them eating here, but you guys can go have at it. Thanks again, Coach Olson. Let's give him a hand. and we'll see you tomorrow at the game.